I was on a boot camp in Philadelphia. It was Sunday fun day. We were out at some bar. It was like the Philadelphia Eagles were playing the football. So these two students, they go and they start talking to these two ladies, and they're speaking with them, and it's going pretty well. You know, it's fine. Nothing to write home about, but it's fine. All of a sudden, in walks these two fucking backwards hat-wearing bro dogs, like frat boys. And they're like, they go up to the girls, like, what's up? They're like, here, in fact, that's what they look like. They're like imagine with like a backwards hat on. What's up, ladies? You're beautiful. Can I buy you a drink? And they're like putting their hand on the girl's lower back and like douching up, like they're douching hard. And the girls are like looking at the students like, oh, these guys fucking suck. Like save us from these guys. But of course, the students are like smart guys. So they're like now thinking what's going on, and they're overthinking, and they just kind of get shut down and stifled. And they're kind of just marginalized out now. Okay, whatever, fine. The girls don't like the guys, it's fine, whatever, but they're marginalized out. So we go to another part of the bar. And then we come back into that room like 20 minutes later. Now they're making out with those guys. Why? Because here's the thing, these guys are so fucking dumb. They're too dumb to realize they're not doing well. So then there's like, duh, you're beautiful, ladies, duh. And then eventually, I guess the girls are like, well, those guys left. These guys, you know, they're not ugly. Okay, sure. Because again, they're not over fucking thinking everything. And look, thought is vital, okay? Obviously, let's not like throw the baby out with the bathwater here. The mind is necessary. Intellect, absolutely necessary to, you know, plan for what you're going to work on when you go out, to think about the correct approach, blah, 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 blah. It's essential after the fact to analyze what happened on your night out and not just be this blur. Like, okay, what went well? In the interactions I had that went well, what was I doing that contributed to the good outcome? Okay, let's keep doing that next, you know, in the future. In the interactions that didn't go so well, what might I have done differently to garner a different outcome should a similar situation arise in the future? And number 3, what are sort of my just biggest overall takeaways from my session out? And, you know, what do I kind of want to work on going forward? That's all vital. However, analysis during the session, dog shit. Like absolute trash. Analysis in process is antithetical to good result. You know, here I'm speaking to you logically, like thoughtfully. If we were to go out, this will be gone. I will become Jeffy. This is Jeffrey Allen. Jeffy comes out, and Jeffy is like a menace, like a fucking anime villain, like a problem. I'm just running around like yelling balls, singing some weird song, doing some weird move, like some weird physical gesture, saying some weird shit, spinning around. You'll come up to me, like a student will come up to me like, I have a question about my state. I'll just be like, balls, durr, and just like, I'm not even going to acknowledge it. Because why? That is not going to help you in that moment. In fact, it's going to be detrimental. Like overly thinking in the moment, you just got to go out, be a force of nature, and just go. And then you can break it down after the fact. This is why if we're out in public, like if we're on the boot camp, I don't like between every interaction stop to do a granular breakdown of what transpired in that last interaction. Let's break it down right now. I'm not going to do that. I might give like micro feedback, like little things you don't have to think about too much. Okay, next, bam. Because number one, I don't want you to get into a logical headspace. I want you to understand this type of communication is purely emotional. Logic will serve you very well in 95% of the conversations you have in your daily life. Out there, it will not help you. It will fuck you up. In fact, logical content pushes out the pizzazz, the razzmatazz, the sparkle of attraction. It cannot coexist with logical information. I will never get bogged down to these questions like, what the fuck do you do for a living? Like they start talking about this shit. Like, what do you do? I go, nothing. Durr. And just change the subject. I'll go, like, what do you do? I'm gay. Anyway, durr. Like, I'm gay. Durr. Nothing. Someone will say I'm a balls-loving murderer. That's hyphenated, balls-loving, a balls-loving murderer. Sometimes I say I go businessman, office, computer. And I have printed up cards that say businessman, office, computer. It literally, it says Jeff Allen, businessman, office, computer. And there's no contact information. There's no phone number. It just says Jeff Allen, businessman, office computer. I got these for like $20 on Vistaprint or some shit because I thought it was fucking funny. Now, to be fair, if there's a time and a place for logical content, but that comes after you get interest. Attraction happens fast or not at all. Like it's going to happen fast within the first 5-10 minutes tops, or it's not going to happen at all. But that doesn't mean that you discard the rapport. The problem is most people are trying to go for trust, comfort, and connection first. And then somewhere down the line, then I'll get the attraction. Like, no, they don't have any interest in the trust, comfort, and connection with you unless there's attraction already. Why would you want like rapport with someone you're not interested in? It's just you might as well be talking to a fucking homeless person. Again, one of these fentanyl bums. So again, when people go in and they're talking about all this boring bullshit and trying to like lift the veil of personality, like no, of like the true self and my character, like no, that shit comes after. Interest must come first, then spend fucking 5 hours getting to know them. But without that initial interest, it's not going to work. So again, you got to start to let go of the inhibition that was protecting you previously from what? And it did protect you. It protected you from what? It protected you from the judgment of the group. It protected you. It was useful at one point. So here's the thing. This must start without shame or guilt. Like I personally suck because I have these inhibitions. No, the inhibition it's the human condition. It's social conditioning affects everyone to one degree or another. Some are far more afflicted. Others are pretty lightly afflicted. But again, everyone feels that way sometimes, except in extremely rare instances, like some sort of weird genetic anomaly who was also raised in a situation where he was perfect in self-esteem, and I have met some people like this. They're called naturals, but they're few and far between. But most people are going to have to, I wouldn't say struggle, but they're going to have to address this. They're going to have to come to the realization. Awareness is the first step, and it comes without shame or guilt. Like I suck because I have this. Like, no, this helped me at one point. Thank you for your service. Thank you, inhibition, for your service. Now fly away. Fly away. I don't need you anymore. And then you can let it go. But if you're going out, you have to create a non-judgmental space for you to exercise. All right? Because only in that non-judgmental space can you make the leap into the unknown where the growth happens. That's where the growth happens. It happens in the unknown. Like I'm going to use my energies in a way that I never have before. There's only 2 rules I have on boot camp. Number 1, never be careful. Number 2, go too far. NBC, GTF. Never be careful, go too far. Now, this doesn't mean that you're doing intentional damage to yourself or other people. It just means you're using your energies in a way that you never have before. And that's where you'll start to see different outcomes and better outcomes. And that's when your mind will start to be like, okay, if I act like this, it actually works. Act like that. And then that's when the change starts to happen. That's when you start to discard those old inhibitions. And by the way, those old ways of acting, like the kind of more shut down, reserved, I don't want to say passive, but more like low key sort of expression point, that's not discarded. That just becomes a choice you could do now. And it gains power in the process. It's like I could go and make the decision to go in low key, and I can do that too. I could do that. My buddy Owen can do it. Everyone I know that's good, that's competent can do that. They can go up and they can make the decision to be more low key or even ask, interview style questions at the beginning and have it work. Because why? The people can tell, oh, this is a proactive choice that they're making to be more chilled out. As opposed to the average person who that's all they can fucking do. They're desperately treading water, asking the questions, hoping the questions don't run out. What do you do? Where do you live? What do you do? Like hoping the questions don't run out, because when the questions run out, then they're the dirt. Like I got nothing else to say after that because they're so stifled. Remember, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Practice makes permanent. If you're going out and you're just doing dumb shit, then it's not going to be helpful. One of the value things of a boot camp is developing an awareness of the gap, making you aware of the gap between what you think you're doing and what other people are actually perceiving. For a lot of people, there's a big gap there. They think they're doing this, but other people are seeing this and they're unaware of it. I want to make you aware of that gap and then close the gap. So number one, you got to be aware of what the hell you're doing. Number two, You have to have some sort of methodical exercise process that's going to allow you to chip away at these inhibitions over time. It cannot be haphazard. Because if it's haphazard, you're likely not going to see result. And again, I do a mentoring program where we work on those things specifically. The voice, the facial expression and emotional expression, body language, gesture, opening access to intuitive energies so you can just talk, and never run out of things to say and have it actually be relevant and work in the conversation at hand, and in fact be quite genius sometimes. You'll say these things that are just fucking hilarious, and it almost seems like you're not the originator of this. Like when I'm out there, I'll just be saying things and I'll be like, I'm just laughing my ass off. They're like, well, how do I smile more? Say things that you think are fucking funny, and it's not even think. It's intuitive energies. I will allow it. I feel like I'm a conduit for these energies. I'm not even the originator. It's just like happening through me. I'm opening up and I'm allowing these like higher energies to come down and out and be expressed through these impulses of things that are coming out through the subconscious process of intuition, which is accessing like constellations of memories and experience, like that I'm not even consciously aware of. And I'll say this thing and it'll just be this hilarious punchline. And I'll be like, where did that come from? That was fucking funny. And that's when you'll actually start laughing in your conversations, and it'll be like actual genuine smiling and genuine laughter, as opposed to, again, let me go plaster on some fake fucking smile like the Terminator in T2 when the kid's trying to teach it how to smile. Like this, it's more like a rictus of pain and terror. A rictus of pain and terror. Right? No, that's when it'll become real.
I just finished Charisma mentoring. When I'm in a social situation, I can read this situation better now. I get a better feeling for what the other person is communicating. And like my voice projects better, or I have a different energy in my body. Actually experiencing these differences, it makes a huge difference in your mentality. Growing up, I was very unconfident and shy, so actually experiencing, like building your confidence is a really big thing. It's just about how much training you do. The course has been really great. All along we've been getting a lot of great feedback. Now I have a tool set for life that I can use for myself. So if I want to, I can use these tools to grow consistently over time. So now the choice is mine.